If you've been told that you have scapular winging and your shoulder blade looks like this, you might have been told you need to strengthen the serratus muscle and some of the upper back muscles. But there's a problem with that strategy. Assuming you didn't have a long thoracic nerve injury, most conventional shoulder rehab glosses over a fundamental piece to the way that your shoulder blade sits. This video will show you what that piece is, and I'll show you how to actually fix scapular winging. Everyone's working on strengthening all the muscles that attach to this. But did you ever think about looking at what the shoulder blade sits on? I'm talking the rib cage. There's actually a joint called the scapulothoracic joint. And most people are only focusing on the scapular component. Rarely do we look at the thorax component. If you look at the shoulder blade from the front, you can see that the surface is concave. We have to fill this concave surface. We'll fill this surface with the rib cage. If we can get the ribs to expand backwards, now I've filled the gap between the scapula and the thorax. This filling of the gap will allow the scapula to slide and glide. If the thorax is sitting way far forward, it's going to give the appearance that the scapula is winging. But it's not a scapular issue. The issue is the shoulder blade doesn't have a home. When the shoulder blade isn't congruent to the rib cage, the rotator cuff muscles have to increase their workload. Most people think of the rotator cuff muscles as having an influence on the shoulder, but it also has actions on the scapula. What that action is it's pulling the shoulder blade back this way, called scapular internal rotation. Does this look familiar? If I internally rotate the shoulder blade, it looks like the scapula is winging. All because I have a thorax that can't expand and fill the gap. Is there any research to support this, Zach? Trust me, bro, just believe me. Of course there is. This systematic review showed that a slouched posture, which is really an inability to expand the rib cage, influences the movements available at the shoulder. You end up losing overhead motion, external rotation, and abduction. And this study right here showed when you intentionally restrict thorax expansion, you decrease the amount that the shoulder blade moves, and you increase the amount that the humerus moves. That could put more load on the arm. So what we want to do to impact scapular winging is work on our ability to expand the rib cage. There's 3 things we have to do. The first is increase the front to back dimensions of the rib cage. You're gonna get a foam roller, put it on the middle third of the rib cage, about chest height. If it's a little uncomfortable, you can place a pillow underneath the foam roller. I want your knees atop of one another, and you wanna weight bear on 2 points. You wanna roll forward slightly, so that way you are weight bearing on the bottom outside knee and the foam roller. If you get it right, you should be able to do this. Side bend over the foam roller, but not all the way like this. I want you just like this so you're parallel to the ground. Top arm is gonna reach to the ceiling. You don't wanna be way back. You wanna be right here like this. Look at your fingertips. You're gonna silently breathe in through the nose, and then on the exhale, you wanna think about melting into the foam roller, getting nice and heavy. You're gonna hold this position. Perform 5 sets of 5 breaths 2 times per day for 2 to 4 weeks before you go on to the next move. The second thing is we have to expand the posterior or backside rib cage. That way we fill the gap between the shoulder blade and the ribs. To get posterior backside expansion, you're gonna do the single leg turtle roll. You want to have one leg straight, the side that you're trying to expand, you're gonna bring that knee to your chest without crunching. Eyes need to stay forward. Keep the thigh glued to the chest. Inhale, roll backwards. Exhale, roll forward. Inhale back. You want the straight leg to reach back towards the wall, not towards the ground. Do 3 sets of 8 to 10 rolls per side, couple times per day for 2 to 4 weeks. And the third thing is to maximize the front side expansion of the rib cage, which is going to allow the shoulder blade to swoop around without winging. You want to try this downward dog variation. Hands completely flat. You're going to contact on 2 points. The wiggle bone on your wrist, called the pisiform, and the base of the index finger. Silently breathe in through the nose. On the exhale, you're going to get heavy through those points without twisting the arms. Aim your rear up and back towards the corner between the ceiling and the wall, staying heavy on those points. My eyes are drifting towards my feet. Silently breathe in through the nose. Exhale, get heavier through those points on the arm. You're gonna do 5 sets, 5 breaths, 2 times per day for 2 to 4 weeks, and that should help your winging quite a bit. Sometimes in this process, people can have a difficult time really maximizing that backside thorax expansion. If that's you, I'd check out this video right here where I outline some progressions that will really help maximize your upper back mobility.